What's up, Cowboys Nation? Welcome back to Cowboys News TV. I'm your host, Dave, and today we've got some unfortunate news regarding one of our defensive stars. The Dallas Cowboys are preparing to place defensive end DeMarcus Lawrence on injured reserve after he suffered a Lisfranc injury to his right foot during the win over the Giants. We're going to break down what this means for the Cowboys, how long Lawrence could be out, and what Dallas plans to do to replace his production on the defensive line. But before we dive in, if you haven't already, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you don't miss out on the latest Cowboys updates. Your support has been amazing, and we're so close to hitting 12,000 subscribers. Let's keep the momentum going. Now, let's talk about DeMarcus Lawrence's injury. According to reports from the Dallas Morning News, Lawrence suffered the injury in the third quarter of the Cowboys' 20-15 victory over the Giants. It's a Lisfranc injury, which involves damage to the bones or ligaments in the middle of the foot, and it's no small issue. Depending on the severity, it could keep him out for anywhere between 4 to 8 weeks. If the Cowboys do place him on injured reserve, the earliest we could see Lawrence back on the field is November 3rd, when Dallas takes on the Atlanta Falcons. That's a significant stretch of time, especially considering Lawrence's impact on the defense. He's been a key part of the Cowboys' pass rush and run defense for years, and losing him creates a major hole on the defensive line. Cowboys Nation, let me ask you this: how big of a loss is DeMarcus Lawrence for this defense? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and let's discuss what his absence could mean for the Cowboys moving forward. It's worth noting that this is the third time in Lawrence's career that he's had to miss time due to a foot injury. He dealt with a broken foot in both 2014 and 2021, and now, unfortunately, he's sidelined again with this Lisfranc injury. After the game against the Giants, Lawrence mentioned that his foot hurt like hell, but he was hoping it wasn't serious. Unfortunately, the second opinion confirmed the injury, although the silver lining here is that he won't need surgery. While we all know how tough Lawrence is, missing him for any amount of time is a big blow. Not only is he one of the team's best pass rushers, but he's also an excellent run defender, something the Cowboys have struggled with at times this season. The timing couldn't be worse, especially with fellow defensive star Micah Parsons also dealing with an injury. Parsons has a high ankle sprain and is expected to miss 2 to 4 weeks. Losing both Lawrence and Parsons at the same time is a tough pill to swallow for a defense that has carried the Cowboys through the first few games of the season. So, how are the Cowboys planning to address this? Well, according to sources, defensive end Carl Lawson will likely be elevated from the practice squad for this week's game against the Pittsburgh Steelers. Lawson has already been elevated twice in the last 2 weeks, and this will be his final practice squad elevation before the Cowboys would need to sign him to the 53-man roster. Lawson has shown flashes of his potential, but asking him to fill the shoes of DeMarcus Lawrence is a tall task. The Cowboys are also expected to bring in several players for workouts, so there could be some additional depth added to the roster in the coming days. Cowboys Nation, what do you think about Carl Lawson stepping in? Do you think he can help hold down the fort while Lawrence recovers, or should the Cowboys be looking elsewhere for help on the defensive line? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to vote in our community poll on whether Dallas should bring in more reinforcements. Let's be clear, losing DeMarcus Lawrence is a huge blow to this defense, but all hope is not lost. The Cowboys still have some talented players up front, including Osa Odighizuwa and Sam Williams, who will need to step up and play bigger roles. Additionally, with Dan Quinn orchestrating the defense, we can trust that he'll find ways to maximize the talent that's available. The Cowboys have also been strong against the pass so far this season, thanks in part to the secondary and their ability to create turnovers. If the defensive line can hold up, even without Lawrence and Parsons, this defense can still make plays and keep the Cowboys in games. But one thing's for sure, the pressure is on for the rest of the defense to step up. The upcoming game against the Pittsburgh Steelers will be a real test, especially with the Steelers' offense starting to find some rhythm in recent weeks. The Cowboys can't afford to let this injury derail their momentum, especially in a competitive NFC East. Before we wrap things up, let's take a quick look at the upcoming schedule. The Cowboys are facing the Steelers this week, followed by matchups with the Detroit Lions, Philadelphia Eagles, and Atlanta Falcons. It's a tough stretch, but if the Cowboys can weather the storm without Lawrence and Parsons, they'll be in good shape for the second half of the season. Cowboys Nation, what's your prediction for these next few games? How do you think the defense will fare without Lawrence, and do you think the Cowboys can stay competitive? Drop your predictions in the comments, and let's hear what you have to say. The Dallas Cowboys take on the Pittsburgh Steelers this Sunday on Sunday Night Football, and it's shaping up to be an exciting matchup between two of the NFL's most historic franchises. Here's everything you need to know to watch the game. Game details. Date: Sunday, October 6, 2024. Time: live coverage begins at 7 p.m. Eastern Time with Football Night in America. Kickoff time: 8:20 p.m. Eastern Time. Location: Acrisure Stadium, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. TV: NBC. Live stream: Peacock. Dallas Cowboys overview. The Cowboys are coming off a hard-fought 20-15 victory over the New York Giants. With a 2-2 record, they've experienced a shaky start to the season, their worst since 2020. The team struggled in weeks 2 and 3 but bounced back with a strong defensive effort against the Giants, allowing only 303 total yards. Dak Prescott was efficient, completing 22 of 27 passes for 221 yards and 2 touchdowns. Prescott's future was secured when he signed a 4-year, $240 million extension, making him the highest-paid player in NFL history, averaging $60 million per year. CeeDee Lamb, now the second highest-paid wide receiver in the league after signing a 4-year, $136 million extension, has been a key contributor with 20 receptions for 316 yards and 2 touchdowns this season. Pittsburgh Steelers overview. The Steelers fell 27-24 to the Indianapolis Colts last week, dropping to 3-1 on the season. Their defense had been dominant through the first 3 weeks, holding opponents to just 26 points combined. However, they struggled in Week 4, giving up 358 total yards in their first loss. Justin Fields, who was traded to the Steelers from the Bears, shined despite the loss. He threw for 312 yards and scored 3 touchdowns, 1 passing, 2 rushing. Fields has stepped up as the starter while Russell Wilson recovers from a calf injury. How to watch. TV: you can catch the game live on NBC. Live stream: for those who prefer streaming, the game will be available on Peacock. Make sure to tune in to see if the Cowboys can overcome their injuries and build on their recent win, or if the Steelers will bounce back from their first loss of the season. So, before we wrap up, make sure you subscribe to Cowboys News TV if you haven't yet. Your support is invaluable, and we're so close to reaching that 12,000 subscriber milestone. Also, like this video if you found it informative, and share it with your fellow Cowboys fans. Thanks for tuning in, Cowboys Nation. We appreciate your support and can't wait to bring you more content as we prepare for another exciting season of Cowboys football. Keep the conversation alive in the comments, and let's keep that Cowboys spirit soaring. Until next time, stay safe, stay strong, and go Cowboys!